they're caused. So if you got battery, you're going to get any emotional stress brought about by the battery. It's only when you have no other tort do you look for intentional infliction of emotional distress. But almost all the decisions that deal with it, they're usually losing decisions, either because you don't have enough severity, or because the conduct, while bad, is not extreme, it's not outrageous. You won't deal with it because I've had no success in examining it, and students have wasted so much time, they find intentional infliction everywhere. They're always wasting time on trying to show conduct is extreme and outrageous, even though I gave no facts of any severe distress or any distress at all. They keep getting into it. So for purposes of this coming midterm, you will not be tested on intentional infliction of emotional distress. The last thing to remember about it before we jump off of it, it's an intentional tort. But here they've modified that. It's got to be intended. What has to be intended? The distress, nothing else. You must prove that the distress was intended the ordinary way, but then they've added on, they've loosened things up for this tort. If you didn't intend it, you were reckless about whether you'd bring about distress. It wasn't your purpose. You didn't know to a substantial certainty, but you were reckless about whether distress would result from your conduct. Recklessness is generally defined of there's a high probability of it, and you proceeded in conscious disregard of that high probability. That's recklessness. We'll see more of that in negligence. So don't worry about intentional infliction of emotional distress. Okay, trespass to land. An easy tort. It's conduct intended to cause and causing. Entry on land of another without consent and without privilege. Again, I'd start with, do we have conduct causing an entry? Usually it's going to be obvious. So-and-so ran into the store. You can say, obviously, there was an entry there. Facts say he ran into the store. From that we infer it was obviously his purpose to go in the store. So often you can meet the prima facie case very readily. Students don't have trouble with that. But you do need to show conduct causing an entry. You got to show it's land of another. What they mean by land of another, it's that the plaintiff who's suing, it was plaintiff's land. You do not have to be the owner of the land if they're protecting an exclusive possessory right. Plaintiff had an exclusive possessory right as opposed to the defendant. Plaintiff was in control of who possessed that land, who was on that land, or not. Sometimes you can have three plaintiffs because three people own the land. You rent an apartment by yourself. You've got the exclusive possessory right, and that includes the landlord. The landlord is trespassing when the landlord enters, unless you agreed in your lease that the landlord could enter. Most leases have some provision upon reasonable notice they can enter. But if you didn't agree to it, since you're the one with an exclusive right of possession once you've rented it, once the landlord's agreed that it's your apartment for the period of the lease, you're the holder of the possessory right, you can sue for trespass to land. So it's not limited to owners. It's whoever has an exclusive possessory right. Don't forget that people who are privileged to be on the land are sharing in your possessory right, and you can't sue them for trespass to land. Why? They're entitled to be there. So you own the land, some other person is chased onto the land by a tiger, they're entitled to be there by private necessity. You can sue them for trespass to land, but you're going to lose, not only because they're privileged, you're going to lose because you don't have an exclusive possessory right. So we're protecting your exclusive possessory right. If someone is, an owner is irritated because they've leased it out to a tenant, the neighbors are spraying the other person over there with water and the rest of it. You're irritated, the tenant's complaining to you, you can't sue the neighbor for trespass to land. You own the land, but you don't have any possessory right to the land until the lease runs. Their conduct is not affecting your rights. If, however, the neighbor starts damaging the property in a permanent way, well, that is affecting your possessory rights because you're coming back into your possessory rights at the end of the lease and the damage is going to be there. So you can sue now for trespass to land. Why? They're invading your rights to possession. Your right 12 months from now to be back in there is being invaded, and it's being invaded now. You can sue for trespass. So focus on who the plaintiff is. Do they have an exclusive possessory right vis-a-vis the defendant? You know, and again, the entry can be indirect. Even though I don't go on your land, if I throw a rock on your land, that's trespass. I cause somebody else to go on your land, that's trespass. What if water is gushing out of some broken pipe on my land and it's flowing onto your land? That's conduct causing an entry. I'm the one who got a hold of the land with the pipes and the rest of it. They're broken, I'm doing nothing about it. My conduct is causing the water to flow onto your land. You get conduct causing an entry on land of another. Once you've got conduct causing an entry, then go to, was it intended? Start again. What has to be intended? Give me the law. Here, the entry has to be intended. All this sounds obvious, and it is obvious, but students tend to screw up if they don't stop and pause about what precisely has to be intended. Here, the entry has to be intended. Facts under the facts of whatever facts, it was purpose to go where it went. That's all you got to show. Notice with the water flowing on, it was not intended. I didn't know about it. Once you tell me, though, once you tell me the water's flowing, and I don't do anything about it, now I'm intending. Why am I intending? Still not my purpose of the water going on your land, but now I know to a substantial certainty that it's going on your land. Therefore, I'm intending to go on your land. I better turn my water off. Okay, generally the entry has to be physical. These rules came up in a less scientific time. So things like light and noise and odors were not considered physical entries. The courts have generally held to that. Unless you've got an actual, tangible, physical entry on land of another, you don't have trespass. The courts will direct you saying, sue for nuisance. If you're dealing with light and noise and smells, that's a nuisance thing. Nuisance is where you're unreasonably interfering with my use and enjoyment of my land. You're not really interfering with my possession. I'm in possession, no one else is, but I'm not enjoying it because of the noise. So the fact that you can scientifically show that noise, light, or smell is physical, the courts don't go there. They say those kind of things we want to have you sue in nuisance. Stick with the tangible physical entries on land of another. If you induce others to go on the land, then you're causing entry on that land. So there's an old case where you choose to go up in a big, colorful gas balloon. You land on someone else's property, and that brings a lot of other people on. You chose to land there. Your trespass caused the damage to the other parties, and your conduct caused their entry. So you do have conduct causing an entry not only by yourself, but also by all the people rushing after and following you. It's your conduct that caused it. They may have trouble when you get to intent, but first off, establish you got conduct causing an entry. You caused the balloon to go there, that caused the other parties. What if you didn't cause the balloon there, just landed there and they all came? Still your conduct caused them to enter. Had you not engaged in the conduct going up in the balloon, they would not have entered the plaintiff's property. So you can indirectly cause entries, and watch out for it. When you get to intent, then deal with it. What has to be intended? The entry. Did you intend those people to enter? Was that your purpose in engaging in your conduct of going up in the balloon? No. Did you know to a substantial certainty that they would enter? No. Well, then you don't have intent. You don't have any other tort, there's no transfer intent. But if you know every time you go up that people are always going to rush to where you are no matter where you are, now we've got facts showing you knew to a substantial certainty they'd be entering. Also watch out where you get a fact pattern where you're up in the air and you crash on someone's land. Well, your conduct caused an entry, but it wasn't intended. You're up in the air and you're going to crash, and you direct it away from the school onto someone else's land. That's an intentional entry.